It's Aquarium Monday on Daily Download. Hey, this is your Aquarium Monday on Daily Download. We are here at the Two Oceans Aquarium with Tinus. He has dragged us outside. My legs are shaking. We are standing right above the Predators exhibit. Tinus, I can't swim, but what will happen if I fall in?
It's quite fun, because there's a platform that one can move. If you do that. It's a bit like a trapdoor. There's a secret button. I push it around about here. It ditches in the water. No, I'm kidding.
Okay. I was really gearing to go down.
There goes a shark.
Wow.
It's one of our dive platforms where we dive from into this exhibit. To answer your question, what happens if you fall in here? If you walk along a walkway, because there's sharks in there, you fall in, what happens?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, there's a massive splash. You get very wet. All the fish immediately, they all run away. They all scatter.
Okay.
The next moment, they all come to have a look again.
Okay.
So all the fish
Yeah.
will get a fright, run away, come back to have a look,
Okay.
move along their way. The sharks do not react in the least.
Wow. They're just like.
The sharks do nothing, which people often find a bit disappointing, because you prime them jaws and everything. Ooh, come and have a look.
Yeah.
If anything, sometimes the ragged tufts as well, if it's close to them, they'll get a bit of a fright.
Yeah.
So they'll run away. The difference is they don't come back to have a look.
Oh.
They just try and get away.
Okay. Wow.
But for the most part, that's basically it, and when you're wet and your radio is ruined, and hopefully you don't have a cell phone with you or your car immobilizer, and you sort of do embarrassed doggy paddle to the side of a tank and get out dripping wet, and quietly go and put your clothes in the dryer and don't tell anyone.
Oh, this is great. Now, what do you do from this platform? You mentioned that you do some of the diving. What do you do?
It's most of our servicing, so we can't quite see from here, but underneath there's a gap. So you'll see there's a ladder back there which we can use to walk into the center bit of a tank. And on Sundays when we dive, that's where we enter and exit. For most of our service dives, we'll actually use this platform as a working platform too.
Oh, I see.
So if you look over there, there's the 4 main panels that we're sitting in front of.
Right, yes.
The only reason why we can't see where you and I stand into the aquarium is because the light level where we are, it's so bright out here, we see our own reflection.
Oh my, wow. So someone could be sitting there and we wouldn't know.
But once you drop into the tank, you look straight out. You can see them, they can see you.
Okay, I see.
It's something people often ask us, can a fish see you when you visit the aquarium? They can.
All right.
For that reason, actually, we tend to keep the exhibits rather well lit, because the fish likes to stick to the light.
Yeah.
So they can see people, but they don't often try and swim there. They know there's a boundary. They can feel there's a boundary there.
Yeah. Well, I see it's very open, and I'm guessing it's so that you can't get in the tank. But, I have a little fish tank at home, and we put a cover on it so the water doesn't escape. How do you maintain water evaporating on a daily basis?
We're an open system aquarium. What it means is we take water in from the sea all the time.
Okay.
We pump in approximately, we've got 2 intake pumps. One is out by the penny ferry.
Okay.
One is in the basin.
Oh.
So that one takes about 40,000 litres of water an hour. I think the outside one at the moment is taking about 60,000 litres.
Oh.
So we pump in about 100,000 litres of seawater an hour into the building.
Wait, an hour?
An hour.
Oh my goodness.
So then, depending on which exhibit it goes to, some exhibits are heated, some are cooled down.
Oh, I see.
So this one, for example, year-round will be between 18 and 22 degrees.
Okay.
So the water runs through the aquarium for various filter systems, goes to the exhibits, and eventually all goes back into the harbour. And ironically, the water we put back in the harbour is of a better quality than what we take in.
Because you filtered it, went through and everything. Okay. Well, you mentioned that some water needs to be heated. Where do you do that? In one of the rooms? And how do you do it?
I'll show you a bit later. We've got some really good life support rooms.
Okay.
Where we use heat exchangers.
Okay.
But it's a fairly energy intensive process.
I
Because you
see,
either
I
have to
see.
heat or cool. And in some exhibits run an ambient. So whatever water temperature is, as you pump it in, you use that water as it is.
Okay. Wow. Now, when we came here, we walked past the kitchen, right? Is the kitchen for the staff or is it for the fish?
That kitchen is for the fish.
Oh,
but
okay.
like anything else, if you work in a place for a while,
Yeah.
some of your staff might also use that to make a sandwich. But mostly
goodness.
that's the fish food prep kitchen.
Okay. What exactly do you feed them? Besides, you mentioned that you feed the sharks hake. What do you feed everyone else in the tank?
It depends on the species. Some fish are vegetarian, some are omnivorous, some are carnivorous.
Oh, okay.
And some are piscivorous, most of them actually. So
Uh,
it very much depends on the animal you have.
Okay.
We also have some turtles that we rehabilitate. And interesting enough, turtles most of the time eat vegetables.
right, right.
A sea turtle,
Yeah.
we feed them a hell of a lot of cauliflower, broccoli, carrots,
Oh.
peas, lettuce. But for the fish in general, mostly we feed hake to the rest as well, also because it's got a low fat
Okay.
content.
Okay, I
A
see.
lot of pilchard, white mussel, red bait, black mussel,
Okay.
some frozen urchins,
Yeah, yeah.
some hake roe. So most of our fish we actually get from I&J,
Okay,
and then
yes.
some of our other food we buy in. Something like
Right.
red bait, which is a certain we'll collect from Robben Island ourselves.
Okay.
We've got a permanent collection team who basically is both responsible for collecting fish from the wild and stocking the aquarium and doing transports, and we also collect algae and food.
Oh,
So
I
it very
see.
much depends on the species and what you feed them. Then also, from aquaculture industries, you can get specialized pellets made up. You know, it's a bit of the same if you think about what your dog should be eating.
Right,
Most
right.
of us feed our dogs pellets, which we get already in a pelleted form, which
Yes.
is made up of all right nutrients.
Yes,
You
that's
can do
right.
the same thing for fish.
Oh, I see. Now, you mentioned that you have to go like to Robben Island to go and get your food source. Do they have farms where they farm the food sources for you, or do you just?
Not really. For the most part, we just go and get. Something which you have to bear in mind, and it's quite sobering as Cape Townians too. Next time you're on the seashore, you know, whether it's in Sea Point and Falsper, wherever,
Yeah, you know.
bear in mind that Cape Town is fairly well overfished. So all
Right,
the algae you
that's
see on the
true.
rocks, the black mussels, the invertebrates, they've evolved to cope with predation pressure from fish that's not there anymore.
Right.
So invertebrate
right.
populations are actually doing really well.
Oh, okay.
And the algae populations too. But something like redbait, which is Syrian, is commonly seen as a fouling organism. They filter feeders, grow extremely fast.
Oh, okay.
So we've been harvesting them from the same area for 20 years. If you go back there after 2 months, looks exactly as it did when you left.
Wow, that's really important. Now you say that your food sources have been sponsored by I&J, a fishing company, and you spoke also about overfishing in the Cape. How does that affect the quality of living, not just for the fish here in the aquarium, but for also the ecosystem out there in the ocean?
Well, actually fairly good, because something which is awesome, in the 1950s and 1960s, the sea was still fairly much viewed as inexhaustible. You know, people thought that you could never overfish it. So harvesting from the sea sort of peaked in the late 70s.
Oh,
and
I
since
see.
then stocks have been declining. People finally out, oh, hang on, this system isn't a limited resource.
Right.
Nowadays, especially the hake fishery in Cape Town, it's MSC certified.
Yes.
So the Marine Stewardship Council, which is a completely separate entity, actually had a look, and they government monitors the fishery to determine the quotas. The MSC also has a look to be a watchdog both over governments and over fishing industry.
Right.
And if the MSC certifies the greens, it basically means it's sustainable. So because it's sustainable, the fishing fleet now is smaller for hake than it used to be. But it's basically harvested at sustainable levels. So in terms of hake, it's actually really, really good for us. In terms of a pilchard, we're forever trying to lessen our footprint on pilchard and use less pilchards.
Oh, I see.
Because it's probably the decline in pilchard stocks is the biggest reason for the decline in penguin populations.
Oh my goodness.
So you still find that there's an effect.
Yes, definitely.
You know, and I speak of overfishing, it's amazing how many wild caught fish today still that we catch gets fed to our pets. Goes into dog and cat food.
Oh my goodness. It's definitely something we should be looking at, especially Cape Town. You know, we're a harbour city. We should really be looking at the conservation and the protection of our environment.
Look, we are, yes, we in Cape Town traditionally we eat a fair high amount of fish compared to the rest of the Republic, which is why it's really important. Like, I only encourage people to have a look at the SASSI website, where you can see, if you ever wondered about the coding, you know, where fish are green or orange or red.
Yeah.
SASSI's got a really good app. I'm sure you and I will have a long conversation just on SASSI alone at a later stage, and what it means and what it's there for.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you, Tinus. Some of these fish are gathering close by. Do they think it's feeding time, or that we're going to pay them a visit?
Put your hand in the water and jiggle it a bit.
What?
Do you see what happened?
Yeah.
Remember I talked about pressure waves earlier. Did you see what happened to the yellowtail that was facing away from you? As you did that, the first thing they did, they got a reaction, they ran away, they turned around, they come back to you. A lot of these fish are actually fed pellets, which is why often when we do this, you might find a bit of a reaction. Something comes to have a look.
Oh my word!
Because the
Look at
yellowtail are
them.
used to getting pellets as well.
Okay.
You know, so if there's a bit of a reaction from the surface, I think, hang on,
Yes.
maybe food's arriving. But also sort of know it's not the right time of the morning.
No.
But you can see the shoaling
Now
species
they're
immediately
coming.
they start trying to work out, are we missing something maybe there?
Oh, shame. I don't think we should.
And by the same token, you'll realize the sharks are doing jack squat. Have a look.
Right.
Doesn't react.
Couldn't care less.
So see, the fish are interested, but the sharks, it's not like jaws going like dirtim.
No.
Oh, there's this. No.
Well, I think we should stop teasing the fish for now. This has been amazing. Thank you so much for dragging us up here on this kind of rickety platform. It's okay. Whoa. Before we fall in the water, thank you so much for joining us on Aquarium Monday. And this has been your daily download on Radio 786.